Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking like a motherfucking smack. I said bye, I said bye, I said bye. All it is, you can tell by that thumbnail right there, in a Menudo style, direct fashion, I'm gonna answer the questions not a lot of people will answer. So let's get, look at, there's always a lot of controversy, and people like to say, well, you can't speak on these, or you can't speak on that, or fuck all that. Okay, I'm here to let you guys know the real, to separate the real from the real fake, and to give you guys some of those unanswered questions that you ask, and to be real with it. You know, obviously, that's what we're here for, to hear some of the real talk. So let me give it to you. So a question that's always been asked to me, it's been posed to me so many different times, and I've never really spoken on it, but I'm going to do it today. Was a question, do blacks condone predators and weirdos within their car on the yard? The prison yard, right? Now, what that simply means in layman terms is, are the blacks of acceptance of that? Do they say, you know what, hey, that's my homie from my hood. It doesn't matter what he's in here for. He can kick it and all that. Well, I'm going to simply answer it just like this. Hell no. Period. Nobody does. I don't think nobody allows those type of individuals to function within their carro. Now, I will say this. Every different car, every different ethnicity, every different people rock differently. They have different rules and regulations, different politics, different ways of getting down. Some are a little bit more laxed and a little bit more lenient in their due process, in their justification of due process. Whereas some, speaking about the Norteños and the Southsiders, are just a little bit more militant and shit, they ain't even going to give you the benefit of the doubt, homie. You know, you come in with any type of weird smut on your name, more than likely you're going to be on the next one smoking, yoking before doors open. And that's just how it is. That's how it always has been. But I've been asked this question time and time again. You know, do the brothers allow these type of individuals to function? And like I said, no. Zero. I said capital M with a OP at the end of it, right? No. Everywhere I've been, you know, the brothers, man, do check paperwork. The brothers are on it. You know, there might be guys that are able to slide through the cracks just a little bit more than any other group, just because, you know, there's so many brothers and there's so many different groups of brothers. Whereas you have the South and you have the North, and they all come together as one gente in defense of that yarda. And that's just the way it is. With the others, they all come together. The white guys, sprinkle them in the woods. They all come together, whereas the blacks are fragmented into different groups. You have the Crips, you know, the Kiwis. You have the Bloods, of course, Pyrus. You have, of course, the Kumis, Jamas, so many different groups, the Muslims, the non-affiliated, meaning that these guys are just brothers, man, that are not from gangs. They might be from fucking Alabama, and they just happen to get locked up in Califas. That's just the way it rocks. You know, everyone has different reasons for being incarcerated. One thing I do know is the Crips quite extensively will check your paper. They will run up on you and check your paperwork status. I've never known the Crips, especially the LA Crips, to be that one group to let people slide. They function pretty hard. They're pretty militant as well. As far as the Sangres go, the Bloods, same thing. Same thing, man. Nobody wants, you got to understand, when you're incarcerated, nobody wants a weirdo around them. I don't think nobody wants a weirdo around them in life. You know, there's just something that you can't identify with that individual about. And there's no justification for it. Well, so I was going to see the way that my weirdoness works right now. Your weirdoness is not going to function on this yard. When it comes to a 3 or a 4 yard, do you understand? Things start changing. Whereas a 1 and 2 yard, you might be able to wiggle with some old faulty paperwork that you had your old lady mail into you. Just because guys are just trying to go home, they're short timing, they're more focused on what's in front of them and not what's around them. And in that case, there have been examples where people have wiggled. Now that goes for every ethnicity, you know, not necessarily just the blacks. And it boggles my mind. It strikes my mentality when people are always asking like the blacks are any different. You know, hey, what about the brothers, man? Do they allow, you know, they're a little bit more lax. Don't get it twisted, man. I'll keep it real. When I say they're a little bit more lax and they're about their gente and they're about their people, they're going to take care of them and theirs. But there have been plenty of situations where there have been individuals that have slid through the cracks. And then there have been plenty of instances where they handle their motherfucking business on a guy. I don't think they're going to allow someone to function like that. Period. You know, let me tell you a little story. So I'm out of state, and the wind's blowing. We had been watching TV. You know, we get the local news, we get the news, just like anywhere else. We're all in the day room, we kick it, we watch the news, trying to see what's going on, see if you recognize anyone you see from the news coming in. And there was an ongoing case where this little girl, you know, was murdered. And it was a brother who did it. And it just happened to be a brother, man. I'm not saying that they're the only ones that do it. But she was a little white girl, it was a brother. And so with that, the focus was really on it, right? The focus was really on it. But this guy showed predator tendencies. You know, this wasn't his first go around. He was doing this. This was a repeat pattern for him. He was more into a serial killer shit when it came to these children. So nobody, you know, we watched him with total disgust. And we knew that eventually, you know, over time, he was going to be convicted, and he was more than likely going to come to the prison we were at or one of the prisons within the state. So a lot of us took a keen eye to it and watched it very closely, just in case, you know, we ever ran into this fucking individual who's going to do something bad to him. Well, fast forward about 1.5 years later, no one forgets. One thing about prison is there's not a short memory life. Everyone remembers every damn thing about that yard, all your cellies you've ever had, every building, every block, every cell you've been in. That's part of the game. You know where you've been and you know where you're going. You know, or sometimes you don't know where you're going, but Sasuke, you're ready to get there. Facts, right? So this guy pulls up. He actually pulls up to the Compa I'm on, meaning the building I'm on, which is a 270 design. When this guy pulled up, the way that this prison functioned was we had the tables for chow were in the day room. You know, you never left the building. That was your building. There was a yard to go outside to. Everything was attached to that building. It was a prison of the future. It was meant to keep everybody isolated from, you could have a brother who's doing all day, who's doing live and never see him. You know, it was a new type prison. It was meant to keep people isolated and separated. They used to do norteños and sureños like that. They'd keep us isolated and separated from each other. So that way no one got off, because in this particular place, it was get off where you were mad at, get off on site. And there was plenty of instances where Southsiders used to come into the building. They'd take flight right when they got there, or we'd take flight and vice versa. It just depended on how the placas felt that day, and if they wanted to see a fucking good fight, they'll throw a motherfucker in the sally port and tell him, handle his business. It was ugly and unfortunate, but it happens, right? Part of life. Corcoran fucking gladiator wars all in another state. Wind blew. Anyway, so trip out. This guy actually gets there. When he walks in, boom, the whole compa looks at him. We're all in the day room, and we recognize this guy. So, of course, he goes immediately to his cell. They had him on cell alone status, of course, because they knew something bad was going to happen to him, right? And, of course, he comes out. Now, he stays in his cell until fucking it's chow time. Now he comes out on chow. The makeup of this day room was there's a whole bunch of tables, and everybody had their particular table. Now, they weren't assigned tables, but we assigned them ourselves. We had the Norteño table. There was the Whites table. The brothers had their tables. The others had their tables, and the Rudy Poop wannabes had their tables. This guy had no table, and he wasn't going to have no table, right? Because of the type of individual he was. In fact, he wasn't going to be there too much longer. The fact that he was even allowed to stay that long was a miracle and was a milagro to me. I couldn't believe it. You know, I thought his people would be on it that quick, but I had already told the homeboy, if they're not going to be on it, we're going to be on it, right? So this is what happened. So you come out for chow, you get your fucking tray. They have this cart that they push on. They pull your trays off. They're the trays with the tops. I don't know if you've ever been incarcerated. That's old school shit. But they're the trays with the tops. They pop the top, give you your tray. You fill up your little Kool-Aid with the little brown thing. You slam it before you even sit down. And then you go and you eat your chow, and it is what it is. Go back to the building. It's all that. All right? But anyways, we're on the building. So this guy comes, and I see him trying to fucking sit places. He immediately goes to the brothers. Like, can I sit here? They're like, fuck you, right? So he's mobbing all around, and next thing you know, he's going to go over to the Whites. Now, the Whites are hit different. They hit the long way over here in this state, right? They're the deepest. And he automatically wants to go up to Whites. Now, he took a look towards our table. We had an empty spot at our table. Yes, we did. Indubitably. There wasn't too many Norteños. There was like 3 of us. So we had an empty spot at our table. So he takes a look, and I look at him like this. Motherfucker, don't even try it, right? He's like, fuck that. That thing's different, right? So he definitely goes over to the Whites, and he's like, hey, brothers, can I sit right here? It was at that point in time. Wait, let me look this way. Guard! Close your ears. This white boy jumped up with the pedazo and cut the Vato's whole shit right here. Tongue gone. His fucking tongue fell out. His tongue fell on his tray. Sounds like a big old fucking white boy with a big old beard. You gonna eat that, brother? Right? The Woods. Sprinkle them in. They hit different that day. It was different, but it was supposed to happen. Now, the brothers didn't all jump. There wasn't no riot. The brothers were like, you know what I mean? It was a situation where the Whites handled it because there was no way they even wanted to talk to this guy. This guy, of course, the cops came running, macing people, slamming people, and fucked up my chicken dinner. I was mad at a motherfucker, but I had sopitas, so it was all right. And fuck it. Fuck that dude. Again, it was a situation where he had to go. It was only a matter of time it was going to happen. Now, of course, after this happened, all of us approached the brothers on the compa and were like, hey, why was this guy allowed to stay till chow? And the brothers were like, hey, we were trying to get him on every line movement. We were trying to have youngsters run up in there, but it just didn't work out, man. And we say, you know, that's understandable because these brothers, man, they had always been ones to handle their business. You know, that's just the way it was. And plus, man, nobody wants, at the end of the day, nobody wants any racial riots to kick off. Nobody wants that, you know. People might have an animosity in their heart. They might hate somebody. They might not like them. But nobody wants it to go that route. Simply put, man, everybody just wants to do their time. Now, if it's unavoidable and it has to happen, so okay, fuck it, let's go then. But at the end of the day, nobody wants that smoke. Everybody just wants to kick it, do their time, and do their business and get what they got coming. Period. Social status of equality. The equality is real. People just want to be equal. So they don't want to go on there on the yard, man, and have to worry about fucking getting stabbed in the back. They already have to worry about that anyways. So okay, they don't want anything worse. So that left. That drama left. And everything was cool. The white guys were like, yeah, you know, we're going to have to work something out with you, man, because we handled your guys' business. And they were like, yeah, and whatever business they worked out amongst them, we were Norteños. We were not privy to that. And that was what it was. Now, California is different. California is different. If a brother comes on to the yard, it's expected, it's highly expected for his people to deal with it. Now, if anyone else knows what time it is, if this guy's a jailhouse thief, or this guy's a weirdo, has a weird case, has done some bad things to people, he's a chirujo, anything like that, he's definitely gonna, you know, we definitely as a people would, Mexicans, brown people, would actually go up to the brothers and be like, hey, this is how we've identified him, this is what it is, you guys might want to check on this, he needs to be dealt with. Now, there are certain situations where if he's not removed off said yard within 72 hours or a certain amount of time, then motherfuckers might, you know, everyone might have to get off, right? And there's been situations where that's happened. You know, people are like, fuck that. This is my homeboy from my hood, man. I know he's a righteous dude. We're going to rock with them. And they choose to rock with them. And it is what it is. You know, but for the most part, people would take care of their own. So to answer the question, simply put, when people ask me, do the brothers allow these weirdos and these predators to function on the yard? No. Fuck no. No way. No how. Now, you know, that's like, and it boggles my mind and it fucking hurts my heart. You know, that people always put the blacks in that situation. Like, they separate them and they act like they're different from anyone else. They're not, man. Everybody's the same. Everybody's on that yard doing time. Nobody wants to fuck with weirdos. Not no brothers, not no whites, and that's definitely not no Mexicans. We're different. We ain't fucking with them, right? Fuck you, SPM, right? Straight up. And that's just the way it is. You know, you got people that ask me these questions, it's like they want to hear yes. It's like they have an animosity or they're looking for a reason to have this animosity towards the brothers, man. Let me tell you something, man. I've met some brothers, man, that they're different on that yard. You know, guess who taught me how to make a pedazo? Yeah, I hope. A kumi cat. Well, actually, it wasn't a kumi, it was a jama. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? The brothers, you know, they're convicts. A lot of them are old school convicts. Now, in this day and age, in this era, things are changing. People are able to wiggle a little bit. The way that they're throwing everybody together with this integration and whatever the placas got going on, I'm sure it's harder to check paperwork. I'm sure it's harder to identify and more people are able to wiggle and escape and get by. But at the same time, don't think people are allowing that. Don't think they know exactly what's up and they're going to kick it with this dude. It's not like that. There's an old convict code that there's always been in every state, in every prison. And these fucking weirdos are not allowed to function simultaneously side by righteous individuals, general population. There's a reason it's called general population. In general, fools don't want to fuck with them. And the brothers are right there functioning as well. There's rules and regulations. If that fucking Chiru, even if he's black or if he's whatever he is, if he's allowed to function on that yard, that isn't on just the brothers. That's on everybody because that means everybody walked the yard with that guy. You know, of course, the brothers will be allowed to take care of their business first and will be asked, highly expected to take care of the business, just the same way the Mexicans would be asked and highly expected, as well as the whites. You better handle your business, Woods. Don't trip, brother. We're in the win. You know what I mean? Dig it. Órale, macho man. The whites will do their thing. But there has been situations where motherfuckers were able to get away. They were able to escape. And motherfuckers are like, damn. You can't hold that against anyone. Everybody has filth, man. There's junky motherfuckers and garbage everywhere. And that's just part of the game. You know, you have to understand that, decipher that, realize that. And it is what it is. So yeah, those questions are asked to me and they're posed to me at all times, man. People are like, Yeah, the brothers, huh? They allow pimping and motherfuckers that pimp little girls and motherfuckers that do this. And I say, nah. You know, I've rocked on the same yards with the brothers, man. I've chopped it up. I've had extensive relationships, man, kicking it, chopping it up, hearing stories and you know, even in different states being sold up with brothers, man. And I'll tell you right now, ain't no different from no one else. You know, people that have some type of bone to pick or people that have some bias or some prejudice, you know, that's on them. I don't. I never shall. I never will. You know, I believe everybody's the same. I believe it's ludicrous that people ask these questions, but it's questions that need to be asked and questions that need to be answered. And boom, toma, there you go. You know what I mean? Saz. The real question is, why, you know, is administration picking and choosing who are they throwing on these fucking yards first? You know, where are the brothers stand in all this? It's none of their business. Are they going to back on up? You know, I know the brothers back in the past, you know, in Fresno have beefed with the Perro Chatos, with the Bulldogs quite extensively. But nowadays, you know, they got certain cliques that are functioning in the county jail with them. Are the brothers going to have their back? You know, in the past, you know, brothers have had Norteños backs where they at least were able to facilitate communication or slide things to us to help further, you know, our cause. Will that continue? I don't know. You know, are the brothers nowadays like, fuck that, man, that's not our business, we ain't in it, our name's Bennett. You just never know, man. Prison's a different animal and it's different every day. The main thing is to focus on the here and now, what you got going on right here in front of you, you know? But when people ask those fucking frivolous questions, hey, the brothers allow them fools to kick it, huh? Fuck no, they don't. Puta, are you stupid? What do you think, man? Do you think everybody likes fucking chomos? Do you think just because they're black, it makes them different? Nah, they don't like that shit. You know, like I said, they're a little bit more lax in their vetting. They're a little bit more laxed in the way that they check their paperwork and things of that nature. Some, not all. There's some hardcore militant motherfuckers. So if you stole the candy bar, they want to know about how you spell Snickers, right? There's orderly payday. Is it payday or do you eat a payday? They want to know everything. It's a man is a man. Doesn't matter if he's a black man, a brown man, a white man. A man is a man, and real men ain't gonna fuck with weirdos. You know, there's a divide, and I'm going to do a video on it. I'm starting to notice a divide right here on YouTube, a debate. I wouldn't say divide, but a debate between California and Texas. Shout out and respects to Big Tejas, man. Number love to all my followers and all my subscribers from Texas, right? But I'm starting to notice where a lot of these individuals that support this SPM cat and character are feeling some type of way. They're starting to make it an issue where like, oh, you guys in California think you're tough or you guys think you're hard. It has nothing to do with that, man. There's just rules and regulations that we've lived by or that have been indoctrinated into our mindset since we're young kids, man. And number one being we don't function with weirdos. But he was innocent, but he was, none of that matters, bro. Once you're convicted in court, spensa, homie. Spensa la tira. Whether you're innocent or not, paperwork deems otherwise. Paperwork is all that counts, right? I'm just saying. And when I notice it causing a divide between raza, gente, people, righteous motherfuckers, man, over one guy, you know, like I said, I'm not taking any positions in this motherfucker. I don't, Mr. Capone, I could care less, man. Lazy Dubs and SPM, I could care less. But at the end of the day, I know what's right. And in my heart, man, I cannot function with someone who's convicted of a fucking crime against children, period. Whether he's innocent or not, he's convicted of it. Spensa la tira, vale verga. Bang, bang. And in that fashion. Anyways, I'm starting to notice the divide, people debating. And let's not do that, gente. We're all raza at the end of the day. And if that's what you truly believe in, supporting that individual, well, then that's what you truly believe in. That doesn't make you a bad person. That just makes you a mixed up person to me. Bang, bang. Doesn't mean I dislike you, man. It just means we don't see eye to eye on that situation. Anyways, there's your fucking your questions answered. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. You already know what it is. I hope that you move smooth with a purpose and you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling and striving for your familia and for your people and your gente. Go out there and get it, man. Don't get with it. Just don't get rid of it. You already know what it is. At the end of the day, I'm going to do what I does, cuz. And I'm going to continue to struggle and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the coming together of all people, uniting Texas, New York, Alabama, Arkansas. They got homeboys in Arkansas. And California. You know what it is, man. If you like this, please hit that like and subscribe button, thumbs up, come fuck with your boy. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the shark's crown. I'm going to continue to struggle and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's everyone being exactly the fucking same. So next time you ask me a question, hey, do the blacks do this or do the blacks do that? I don't know. He has a chorra, doesn't he? What? Ask him. I don't know. The gun. Bang, bang.